What's up, y'all? This is BoxingWave here to do a prediction video on the Carl Frampton Kiko Martinez rematch. The first fight was a good fight. I expect the same from the second fight. Okay, I thought it was a classic match, in-fighter against out-fighter. At least in this fight, Carl Frampton was the mover. Okay, he was on the outside, just trying to keep the range between the two, and Kiko Martinez was the fighter that was being the aggressor. Okay, he was being the bully in there. He was cutting off the ring, trying to walk Frampton down, smother him, and he was throwing nothing but power shots, whereas Frampton was the one that was doing the combinations, throwing the counter punches. He was doing more of, just being more precise with his punching, more accurate. He had the hand speed, he had the footwork, and it was a classic matchup. The second fight should be a good fight. I expect it to go in the same exact way. The two things that I think the fighters need to do to win this fight, I think Carl Frampton is going to he's going to have to try to keep the fight in the center of the ring this time. Okay, I think Kiko Martinez was more, I can't remember what the scorecards were. I don't know what the final scorecards were. But I do remember, I was watching some of the fight earlier, and I do remember that the round-by-round scorecard, the unofficial scorecard, had Frampton winning the majority of the rounds, like the first 6 rounds or so. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I thought Kiko Martinez was doing much better than a lot of people thought, okay? I thought Martinez were landing certain rounds. He was the aggressor, and he was landing more power shots than Frampton. And especially the rounds where Frampton his back was against the ropes. And, Kiko was just landing a lot of power shots, a lot of big bombs. He was trying to get Frampton out of there with one big shot. He wasn't really throwing any combinations or anything like that. I think Kiko needs to do the same thing. He needs to be an aggressor. All right, he needs to push and smother Frampton again, and try to, I think he needs to place his shots and position himself a little bit better. Instead of throwing so many bombs when you're in range, time him and pick one big shot and drop him. That left hook seemed to work in the first fight for Kiko Martinez. It just wasn't enough for him to drop him and get Frampton out of there, okay? Frampton, on the other hand, like I said, he needs to keep it in the center of the ring. Keep using that jab. Just keep popping him, pop shotting him, throwing good combinations, throw some power punches here and there. But stay on the outside and tender him up a little bit, just like you did in the first fight. The fight was stopped in the 9th round by a punch that I wouldn't even have thought would drop Kiko Martinez, because Kiko Martinez was taking so much punishment throughout the whole fight. But by the time Frampton hit him with that, I'm not sure if it was straight right, whatever. I think it was a right hand that he dropped him with, or hurt him, and he dropped him with. By that time, Martinez took a lot of punishment, okay? But Frampton was taking a lot of punishment in there too. He was the mover, but it was at times where Kiko had him right where he wanted, and he was landing nothing but bombs. Okay, but I think he started to slow down midway through the fight a little bit, just following Frampton around throughout the whole fight. It takes a lot of energy, he needs to learn how to cut the ring. You've seen the same thing recently with Canelo and Lara. He was just following him around, and Frampton was doing so much extra movement. But it should be a good fight. I expect Frampton to win the rematch. Okay, I think Frampton just needs to stick to the same game plan, stay on the outside, use that movement, pump that jab, throw those combinations, and work them, just keep working. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to stop him again, because like I said in the first fight, I wasn't expecting it. Being the fact that both of these guys has seen each other in the ring, They're gonna know what to do this time around. I think Kiko Martinez knows whatever game plan that he chooses to take. I think he knows what to do this time around. I think certain rounds he was successful. I think he won. I think the fight was a lot closer than most people expected or seen it as. I do think Frampton was winning the fight leading up to that point, but it was going back and forth to me with the rounds. A lot of rounds, Frampton was just movement, and he wasn't as effective with his punches. He was just trying to stay out of there, stay out of range. And Martinez was the one being aggressive and being more assertive certain rounds. All right, I thought it was a back and forth fight to me. I know Frampton is the favorite, the fan favorite, but I still see him winning the fight again. I just don't know if it's going to be by stoppage, But if he is going to stop him, he needs to work on just being more assertive. He's going to have to stay assertive throughout the whole round. He's not going to be able to get him out of there with one punch. So stay busy, do exactly what he did in the first fight. Martinez, best chance of winning is catching Frampton with one shot. I think that's his best chance of win, but he needs to throw less punches and worry more about landing that one big shot, one or two big shots. Maybe throw a little bit more combinations here and there when you got him against the ropes. But I think his best chance is by knocking Frampton out, which I don't see happening. Okay, all right, so that's my pick. I think Frampton again by a late stoppage, but more likely I'm leaning more towards a decision this time. I don't think he's going to be able to stop Kiko Martinez twice because he's pretty tough. I'll be surprised if Frampton were able to stop him early, but I'm saying by decision. I think by unanimous decision. I think Frampton is going to win the fight, and regardless of who wins, I would like to see one of these guys against Scott Quigg. I actually like Scott Quigg a lot. I actually like him better than Carl Frampton. I think Scott Quigg. I would like Frampton and Scott Quigg to fight, but of course, if Frampton loses this fight, I would want to see Scott Quigg fight Kiko Martinez. But I need Quigg to fight one of these guys. Okay, one of these guys is gonna have to fight Scott Quigg, and then eventually Leo Santa Cruz and Riggedy Al, either they fight or one of these guys over, it's Quigg, whether it's Frampton. These guys are gonna have to start mixing up. I mean, the top 5 fighters and the division is gonna have to start fighting each other. Okay, but I got Carl Frampton for this rematch. Okay, peace.